All right, YouTube. It's been a minute, but I thought I would give an update here. I just hit 150,000 miles and did some maintenance. Did another oil change. You can see I have my reminder here about how much oil goes in there. Put some new brakes on. And I did what I want to talk about right now. I did spark plugs. And I watched a bunch of videos on it. It was super easy. Everything I read said that, at least on this side, you should remove the air box. You should remove this wiring from its attachment points to make room for everything. And I didn't do any of that. I left the air box where it was. I didn't detach any of these. The hardest part of all of this was just getting to the electrical connectors inside there, especially the one way back there, mainly because it has a boot on it for some reason, and the boot kind of gets in the way, and then there's just not much real estate to get your fingers in there. But it really wasn't bad. I mean, to get all those electrical connectors off, my fingers weren't strong enough, but I used just like flathead screwdrivers to release them, and I could tell they were released when like if you look here, you press this in on top, but my fingers weren't strong enough to press it and pull this, so I was using a screwdriver to press and then pry it off, and that seemed to work great. I did see one video that someone posted where there's a specific tool you could use that will press that and help you pull it. It almost looks like pliers with a little like finger on it. So whenever I do these again, I will definitely get those because it'd be way easier. This side was a piece of cake. This side was not. You know, you're just working around a lot of wiring, but it's very manageable, very doable. You know, you might have to spin the I forget what they're called, that actually connects to the plugs, but you have to spin them to get them off sometimes. This part here. Yeah, it really wasn't bad. And I'll show you, it's interesting to look at the actual plugs. So that you can see kind of how everything was burning. And it was all burning very similar, but there is a difference here. So if you look at the tips, you know, there's a little carbon here and there, but these lasted 150,000 miles. I mean, just looking at the tips, they're all very similar. You know, the main difference I'm seeing is on the threads. This is the driver's side, these four driver's side, threads are nice and shiny and clean. Passenger side, a little dirty looking, doesn't smell like gas. So I'm thinking slight valve cover leak. There's nothing on the tips. None of the tips were wet, so they were burning fine. I didn't realize the truck wasn't running completely smooth, but man, with the new plugs in, it feels like it's barely running. And these are what I replaced them with. NGK iridiums. Let's see if there's a part number on here. I just went with the one, there we go. I went with the one recommended on Amazon. And they work great. Haven't had any problems. I've probably put a couple 100 miles on them now. The brakes, if you're curious about which brakes I went with, this is the third set of brakes I've put on this truck. Well, it's the second I've put on, but it's the truck's third set of brakes. But just these pretty cheap Detroit axles. And they're definitely a little dirtier. You can kind of see in there on this hub, and like rubs right off with my finger, so I think I could clean it and it'd be fine. It's probably also just from them breaking in. Those probably have 500 miles on them. The fronts look way cleaner, but they stop fine. The whole set, like for pads, rotors, everything, front and back, was less than $300, I want to say. Also straight off Amazon. But they stop great, and they actually sound better than the previous ones I had on there. The previous ones were the same brand, but the slightly upgraded, like drilled and slotted version. And those were a little noisy right from the beginning, like a little squeaky. And these have not been squeaky at all. Since I'm here, I guess I'll show you guys a few things I've done. I've got if you look at it, a front camera here. Really helps with parking. I don't do too many trails, but there's a place nearby called Green Ridge State Park or Green Ridge State Forest. And there are some blind kind of approaches. You're going over a hill, can't tell if someone's coming the other way. So on the interior, that's the upgraded head unit, and everything integrates. Like the cameras up there integrate. Almost everything works perfect except let me show you one more time. In the display here, in the center, I don't get the map indications anymore, but it's wireless CarPlay, so it's great. This is something I installed myself, these power steps. The harness for them is, where the hell did I put that thing? Back there. Back behind the brake lines, right here, that controls it. Ran the wiring all the way through. It connects, it hardwires into the wiring behind this panel, and same thing on the passenger side. But it's the amp research ones. I've probably had those on here for 3 or 4 years and haven't had any issues. And I also ended up wanting the controller for them. So always up. See, they went up. The middle is when the door will control it, and then if you heard it, the other side went down, but press it down and it's always down. Trying to think of what else. I know there's a list of things I've done here, but that's about it. I've got the little step on the back, nice little backflip cover there, but haven't given an update in a really long time, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about those plugs because I was nervous about having to take this whole side of the engine bay apart, and I didn't have to do any of it. Probably took maybe an hour and a half total to do the job, just because I'd never done it before on this truck and wasn't sure what I was getting into. That's it. Let me know if you want to see something else or hear more about how I did it or whatever you can think of. See you later.